Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It is Monday, July 14th, a little after 6 o'clock in the evening, and this will be the video where we review the trades and holdings for the three Roundhill 0DTE funds. First of all, QDTE, the NASDAQ Innovation 100 Covered Call Strategy Fund, then the XDTE, the S&P 500 0DTE Covered Call Strategy Fund, and finally RDTE, the Russell 2000 0DTE Covered Call Strategy Fund. Before we start talking about all the information, I'd just like to remind you that I am on X at ETF_Inspector1, and on there I do, especially for this, if you're interested in these, I post them as soon as I find out about the trades. I got these out at like 9:43, so if you do like to trade along with the pros, you get to see exactly what the pros selected as their strike price. I had it out within minutes of them making the trade, so you could have done it along with them. Today would have not been a great day to do that because the market went up past their strikes, but nobody's got the crystal ball. I did make a video today that kind of helps watch all my videos, explains the different things, what you're looking at on the screen, the different colors, what am I talking about. It's not specific to these videos. It's good for everything that I make, but there is some information in there for you. So we go to the Roundhill page each day in the mornings. We go down and we download the holdings, update all our forms, and then once the stock market opens, we download the intraday trade, and as long as they have made the trade, it shows the trade for the day, and then I enter it into our spreadsheet. I quickly take a screenshot and post it, so if you want that, you got it. And then at the end of the day, we see how things worked out. So this was the QDTE trade today. They selected 22,830 as their call strike price. These are 0DTE. So on July 14th, they sold a call expiring on July 14th. Now they won't close it. They let it run to the end, and everything is cash settled. In this case, they said they sold 348 contracts and collected $23.83 premium per contract. That comes out to $829,284 collected, but at the end of the day, the stock went up to, or the fund went up to $22,855.63. So that is actually $25.63 beyond the strike. So that's the cost to close it out, which came out to more than what we collected. So today is the first losing day since I've been covering them. I covered all last week, and now this first day. So they lost $62,640 on the trade for QDTE. If you have been watching these videos, the screen might look a little bit different. I just colored the call them synthetics. They're these flex options. These are very deep in the money calls. So these are what they're using to sell calls off of. So if you totaled all these up, it actually equals the 348. So they purchased these, and then they're longer term, right, out till September, December, next March, next June, and next September. And then they are going to continue to sell calls off of those. That's how they're selling a covered call without actually owning shares. If you watched the video on Friday, I came up with my estimate for this week's announcement for them. 22, almost 23 cents would be my guess based on the average of the last four. We will all find out together in 2 days on Wednesday. There was an increase over the past week. It seems like they just update over the weekend. So 350,000 additional shares, bringing it up to 22,540,000. There's roughly 793 million being managed in the fund, and that NAV was actually before the day started, because you only can get the holdings in the morning before market opens. So obviously, if everything went up 1/3%, then that NAV will as well. Okay, so today they lost the trades for QDTE. Next is XDTE for the S&P. They sold with a strike of 62.65. Again, today, everything's always going to be for the day. 645 contracts. They collected $3.68 premium per share, 100 shares per contract. Comes out to 237,360 collected, but 62.65. It went to 62.6856. So that's $3.56 more than the strike price. They've got to make that right. Fortunately, they collected a little more than that. So after paying to close it out, there was a profit of $7,740 for the day. Not enough to make the payments that they're making, but it's better than a loss. Okay, when we look at XDTE, same thing. The light, call it light purple. I think Excel called it plum. I didn't want a dark color because I want to be able to see it. That's our synthetic, sort of. That's our deep in the money calls. That's why they're worth $5,000 a share, because they're so far in the money. These are out again September, December, and next June. Average of the last 4 payments is what we used for the guesstimate for this week. It's about 24.8 cents. There was an increase in this one as well. People buying into the fund, 150,000 new shares, bringing it up to 9,205,000. And there's roughly 405 million being managed within the fund. Finally, RDTE for the Russell 2000. They selected 22.40 as their strike price for the calls being sold today. 628 contracts. They collected 378. So 22.40. The Russell RUT ended at 22.4973. So that's 973 beyond the strike price. When we pay that, it costs $611,000, totaling a loss for today's trading of $373,660. So not a great day for our 0 DTE funds, but anybody who tells you they win every day is lying. So let's see, we came up with an average of just under 26 cents for the last 4. Now, I won't always use the average. Once I've got a couple weeks worth of information, then I'll be able to just make better estimates on my own. But until then, I wanted to give you something. So that's just about in line with the last distribution. Again, we'll find out on Wednesday. They've got their calls purchased for September, December, and March. Deep in the money again. Deep in the money. The rest is, you've got, instead of having treasuries, they actually put their, call it treasury money in their own T-bill ETF. So that's pretty nice. Smart on their part. The cash will fluctuate, right? And then you got your government obligation funds. So this is not really stuff we even have to worry too much about. It's not what your investment is. It's not what's going to make you money. 138 million in the fund, no change. Still 4,050,000 outstanding shares. Now, as you see, right on big up days, this was surprising that the QDTE kept up step for step with the NASDAQ 100. Same thing with XDTE, that actually beat it. But RDTE was not able to keep up with the Russell 2000 on the gains. Generally, when it's a down day, it'll still go. The ETFs will go down with the indexes, but not quite as bad, so it doesn't hurt as much. All right, I think that's everything. A nice, short, sweet video. So if you're on X, be ready for tomorrow morning's post, letting you know where they're trading. And catch you tomorrow after close for the update on how everything did. Thanks for watching.